my original Bulgarian name means joy. I'm from Bulgaria. It means joy. And about 6 to 7 years ago, I traveled to Africa, and this is where I was living. I was living in South Africa, but I used to work for National Geographic for a couple of years, and I traveled all over Africa. And then while I was traveling, I was telling people that my name is Joy. And then a friend of mine came up with Ayo, and he was like, this should be your name because it means joy in Yoruba. And ever since then, everyone has been calling me Ayo. That's how it ended.
Wow. And you became officially known as Ayo.
I'm officially known as Ayo. Yeah, everyone loved it so much. I loved it, so I just adopted it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. So what's your story? How did you end up? Because right now you're helping lots of people, from different backgrounds, get to that 10K, which is usually the hardest part. We've helped people become millionaires, but the first 10K for some reason is always the hardest part.
Yeah.
So what's your story? How did you end up doing that?
Right. So my story, as I already told you, I actually started with journalism. I used to work for National Geographic. That was my dream. My dream was to travel in Africa, travel the whole world and create articles and experience all different things. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I actually want to start my own business because I love traveling and I love all that. But here's the key. If you want to have 10K months, it's good to think about a business and starting your own business. I mean, if you think about it, yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, what are the most successful people that you know doing? Exactly, we were talking about hitting the 10K months, 50K months, because 10K, it might seem a lot to people, but actually it's not a lot. So I was asking him, what are these people doing? And he said, well, all of them have their own business. All of them are doing something on their own. Yes, of course, you have highly paid positions like being a doctor, being a lawyer, but you can hit a certain point, right, in these positions. If you have your own practice, maybe you can go even further, but if you work for someone, that will not happen. So the key, number one key, is to break free from the 9 to 5 and have your own business, right? And if you have never made and if you have never had a 10K month, there's a lot of things that you have to go through from systems, setting up systems, because let me tell you something, the difference between a 1K month and a 10K month is not so big. It's all about having a system to follow every single day, number one. Then the other thing is having a team to rely on, because I'm a firm believer that it's all about collaboration. And then, sorry, the other thing is, I know it's a huge cliche. It's mindset. It truly is. It's really believing that you deserve the 10K and it's easy to get it. It's so easy the truth of the matter is so easy to generate 10K as it's easy to generate 1 million. So when you hit your first 10K, then you can hit a bigger threshold. Same with the 1 million. When you hit your 1 million, that's what they say. I still haven't hit my first 1 million, but that's what they said. When you hit your first mil, then it's easier to go and hit the next.
So we're going to assume right now that someone is already maybe in a 9 to 5 or completely jobless. So they don't have any money at all. So they don't have they don't have any money. They can't hire anybody. Nobody will work for them. They can't pay for any system. They can't pay for the software, whatever. So what's the first, like, what do they do? What's the first thing they need to do, or the first things they need to have in place?
Well, the first thing that I will advise these people who just start, and I've been there, I know very well how they feel when you just start and you're like, well, I can't really invest in a big team. I can't really get a coach, because coaching yourself is extremely important. That's, by the way, one of the things that will get you to the 10K, when you coach yourself, because you constantly need to invest in yourself to become better. What I will suggest is, if you start your business, pick the number one skill that really sets you apart from everyone else. Okay, so by that, it could be, yes, you could be doing a job that is very similar to everyone else. For example, there's a lot of consultants, there's a lot of agencies like our agencies, there's a lot of business coaches out there. But what sets us apart and why I started this is because I truly care. Like, I really give an F.
Yes.
And that's the thing that sets me apart for everyone out there. That's why people are coming to us, because when they start working with me and my business partner, Carol, they see that human factor in us. It's not just the next client. And that's how we are. We're very genuine, warm people. And we create this bond with people. Everyone was saying in the beginning, guys, this is your thing. This is your thing. You're so different. I can really tell I'm not just another client. You truly care about me. And we started using that even more. Like, we really connect with people. So I will suggest, when you just start, really set yourself apart, because if you are a Me Too product, you will fail. That's one thing for sure. Whatever you start doing in the beginning, if you're just a Me Too product or you offer a Me Too service, and because you just start and no one knows you, you will fail. So pick the number one thing. What are you good at? Like, really good at? It could be like you have an amazing sense of humor. Well, put it in your work. Whatever you do, if you're going to start your own business, then count on that. Or count on the fact that you have a very good taste of whatever. Just use that one thing.
Wow.
And expand it.
Yes. It's really not about, this is what I hear, it's really not about, technical proficiency. Because most of the time when people say, pick that one thing you're good at, they're talking about, oh, I'm good at sales. I'm good at doing this. I'm good at doing that. But what you're saying is, it could be an emotional factor. It could be something. It could be the way your mind works. It could be who you are, and you take that and you make that the call.
Or even your culture. Your culture, like you're a Bulgarian, or you're from Cuba. Carol is from Cuba. I'm from Bulgaria. We often use that collaboration that we have of two cultures. So I will not even say what you're good at. I will say what you're different. Because there's a lot of experts out there, and your client will go to the expert. But why are you different than this expert? What sets you apart from them? What makes you you?
Wow. And how do you find that? I'm sure that this could be difficult for some people sometimes that have not gone through a certain introspection and inner journey. So how do you find that thing that make you go, this is my call? How do you find it?
That's a good question. Well, very often, sometimes someone else will point it out for you, because sometimes you don't see it yourself. So for example, with us, I just started seeing a pattern with people telling us, oh my God, guys, you really care. We're just not the next client. And they will compliment us. They will say, this is what sets you apart. So I was just sitting there, I was like, it really is that thing. So very often, because we don't see ourselves from the outside, sometimes it takes an extra skill as well to set yourself in a way that you can really see yourself for who you are. It's always people around you. And it's people that care and respect you. They will be the one to point out. It might be even your girlfriend or your boyfriend. They might even say, you know what, I truly love this about you. Or it might be your family, or it might be even if you have first clients, because now we're talking about people who don't have clients yet. That's what I'm getting from you, people who just start. Even in school, what was making you different? Or ask your friends, go and ask your friends and be like, hey, you know what is the number one thing that you think I'm the best at and that makes me different from everyone else? At this point, I feel like, I don't know what you think, but we live in a world where we really need things that make you different in a good way,
The things that set you apart.
Yeah, because there's so many Me Too products out there, and that's why now it's starting to get a little bit difficult even to hit those 10K, 20K, 50K months. Why? Because you're a Me Too product. There's nothing special about you. So many people go out there and they're like, I'm ready. I want to make the money. I'm gonna kill it. But what do you bring to the table? Are you irreplaceable?
Mm. Wow. Let's talk about the mindset. Remember you talked about the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we passed it very fast. You know,
Yeah.
it seems to be probably the most important thing. You know, everyone is talking about it. Like when I say everyone, I'm talking about the leaders that come in here. They're like the mindset. But the thing with
Mm-hmm.
mindset is that there are different approaches.
Yeah.
What's your way? What's your approach? And what are you referring to when it comes to the mindset?
Right. Well, I won't say that mindset is everything. I think that there's a recipe when it comes to hitting your budget goal or hitting your target.
Mm,
Yeah, it is about mindset, definitely.
mm,
But it's also other things. It's mindset, it's strategy,
mm,
it's systems. All systems are so important. When I started my journey, I thought that systems are not important. But believe me, if you want to scale and go to the 10K month, go to the 20K month, it's a system. You need a system to follow. Bringing us back to the mindset. What helped us, I'm going to speak from my perspective, what changed the way we were accelerating and what's helping our clients
mm,
is number one thing is stop the self-sabotage.
mm,
We're self-sabotaging ourselves. Even if you don't realize that you're self-sabotaging yourself, you are. For example, you hit 5K month and you're like, oh, that's great. I can pay my rent. I can do this. And then next month, you don't keep on calling people. You're not consistent. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And all of a sudden, you're stuck with a 5K month. So you self-sabotage yourself. Or you don't do the things that you know you have to do. Self-sabotage
mm,
again. And where does self-sabotage come from? Because self-sabotage is it's not the cause of the problem. It's a side effect, right? It's like when you go to the doctor and they give you pills, you're not treating the symptom, right? You're not treating the core. Self-sabotage comes from you not believing in yourself that you deserve to get this and that and the other because number one, you feel like you don't deserve it because of something that happened in your childhood.
mm,
You don't believe that you deserve it because of your culture. You might believe that money is not good. Oh my God, I hear so many people that say, I don't want millions. I just want to have enough money.
mm,
Well, why don't you want millions? What's wrong with millions?
mm,
So these things, if you can fight, your money beliefs, and everyone has money beliefs. There isn't a single person that does not have money blockages and wrong understanding about money. So number one, that. Number two is your self-worth.
mm,
Do you really believe that? Because a lot of people say they do,
mm.
but they don't.
Very done.
Trust me, like deep inside, I'm a super confident person, but I had to fight a lot of times and be like, especially when you negotiate with clients and be like, holy shit, I do deserve that.
Mm,
And when you hold your ground, it happens.
mm. Wow. I like what you said about beliefs. You know, here we have the 10 rules of money, and one of them is if you deny money, money will deny you. You know, so
Oh yeah.
so never ever deny money. Mm,
Your relationship with money is the same relationship that you will have with your partner.
mm,
It's exactly the same. The way you treat money is like a woman. You
mm,
need to know how to treat a woman. If you're loyal and faithful to the woman, if you love the woman, but at the same time, you make the woman respect you, right?
mm,
It's exactly the same thing. I always tell my clients money and your partner is exactly the same thing. You're going to get from your partner exactly what you give them
mm.
most of the time. That's exactly how it works.
Wow. So let's move into the system.
Mhm.
You talked about having a consistent, this time, sometimes the system, these are concepts. And
Mhm.
so unwrap these concepts, some people, I have people who have spoken to me who they understand these things on a conceptual base, but they don't know how to apply these things into their lives.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so when you say systems, like how do you apply that? You know, beyond
Right.
just the definition of the concept, how do you apply that into your business?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's exactly what we teach in our mastermind, by the way. We have our mastermind called Zero to Pro Get Clients Now. We're starting a second flow in 2021. We had one in 2020. It was amazing. Our first mastermind. I loved it. But that's exactly what we teach business owners, because when we did our very first mastermind, that's exactly what I saw. I saw people with okay-ish businesses, and they don't have a system. Literally, when I say a system, literally everything systemized, all your processes, everything that you do, from hiring someone, what do you do every single day, income generating activities, non-income generating activities, payments, interviews, everything needs to be systemized and out there, because if you don't have this one, I can promise you that you will scale and then you will drown. In fact, today we had a call with one of our clients. She just joined the mastermind as well, because she started her business literally 3 months ago, and she started working with us. And after she started working with us, all of a sudden she started getting clients. Loads of clients, and then she does not have a system. And what happened is that today she's like overwhelmed. She's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You start running before you know how to walk. Of course you're gonna trip. Of course. I wasn't such a believer in systems. By the time I met my business partner, Carol, she's a freak when it comes to systems. She loves everything organized. I'm more the creative type of a person, more the sales type of a person. I love sales. I love sales. She's more the let's organize everything. Let's put it on Asana. Let's put it on Trello. Let's have a system that we follow. How to do that? Well, of course, I'm not going to give you all the secrets. Then how would people work with us?
Yes.
How would people work with us? But as I told you, everything needs to be systemized and automated, because if you don't do that, you will end up working for your business instead of your business working for you. And it takes planning. A lot of people, what they do, a lot of business owners, they will launch a product, for example, and okay, the launch will be over, they will get some clients, and then they will not go back and go through all the process and see what worked and what didn't. They will not do that, and then they will jump in the following program, the following product, thinking that this is the solution, where sometimes breaking through the 10K, the 20K, all these months, literally, trust me, it's a little twist of how you do things. Because when you have a properly working system, then you have more time. And I always say that the most important thing in your life is not money, it's time. Your time is so precious. That's the most important thing.
Wow. Wow. And I'm curious, you mentioned the client that that started getting, too many clients.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't know how to handle that because she does not have the processes, and the organization in place to handle that. Does that happen a lot?
Well, that's what happened with us as well. That's what happened with us. I mean, when I started working in the beginning, to be honest with you, I was super fortunate because I immediately found clients like that. And as COVID was happening, a lot of businesses were suffering, but the agency that I built in the beginning, it was exploding. And then I found myself in May with 22 high ticket clients. And I was like, oh my God, I can't handle this, because I had zero system in place, like literally zero. That's when I met Carol, and Carol was like, we need a system. Whether it happens, well, I can't say it happens with everyone. It happens when you have a good offer. It happens when you offer something amazing. I mean, it makes sense. If you offer something which is no one wants and no one needs, of course you're not going to scale. Of course you're not going to get clients. But if you have something amazing and you put it out there, of course you're going to start getting clients.
and putting together a great offer. That's part of what you help them do, right?
Absolutely. That's number one thing. That's number one thing that we teach people. And I see it very often that people don't know how to create a great offer. They don't know. And that's the number one thing I tell them. Listen, if you have a great offer, you can sell it like that, as long as you have a great offer and you believe in your offer, because most of the time people don't believe in what they offer. Is it good enough? Really? Are you sure? Yeah. So that's the number one thing. When you sit before small things like what's your logo color, website, photos, all this really doesn't matter at all. What matters is number one, offer, and number two, do you have the right people? Because you can't offer something amazing to people that don't need it.
Well, just on a concept, on a high level concept, just talk.
Yeah.
What is an offer?
What is an offer? Where your offer is what you're selling. So it could be, for example, a mastermind, like our mastermind. We're selling our mastermind next year. That's our offer. The offer is, what are they getting into the mastermind? Well, you're going to get the systems. We're going to show you how to automate. And on top of all, you're going to start getting clients now, not tomorrow. So that's a great offer. Okay, I'm going to get the systems. I'm going to get automations, and I'm going to start getting clients. That's amazing. An offer can be, for example, you have a coaching group and you want to get people in the coaching group, or you're selling a physical product. For example, that's not a good example, but here's my aircon remote. A great offer is that I'm going to sell 2 of these, and for free, you're going to get free batteries. Why is a great offer? Because for this, you need batteries. You're not getting a hat, because probably I don't need a hat with this. I need batteries. Right? So that's a great offer. Great offer, and how to create it is something irresistible. Something that when people look at it, it's too good to be true. And how do you make great offer for yourself? When you price it at a price that will satisfy you, because you don't want to work for peanuts. You don't. A lot of people make a mistake and they're like, oh, I'm going to put an offer which is for, I don't know, so cheap, and they think this is a great offer. That's wrong. People are willing to pay as long as they know that it's worth investing in what you're offering them.
For your mastermind, specific businesses that you work with, or do you is it, like, how does that work?
For our mastermind, we prefer to work with online service-based businesses. So anyone in the online space that provide a service. So coaches, digital marketers, agencies like ours, consultants, speakers, everyone in the online space. However, we actually decided to test and see how it will go with people who offer not an online service. We were working with some high-end salons, hair salons, and we find out that it works perfect for them, because what we take them through a 7-step framework, what we use for our business and what we use for every single client. And we also use that 7-step framework to sell out our mastermind, because the truth is we announced the mastermind and we sold it for 3 weeks. We had 20 spots and we managed to just go out there 3 weeks, sold out. So these 7 steps that we offer, they're applicable to everyone who has a great offer. Because if you don't have a great offer, the truth of the matter is that even if the greatest coach or anyone comes, will not help you.
Will not be able to help. So it all starts with the offer.
The offer, and also what kind of person you are. Because listen, some people are not coachable. Unfortunately, they're not. You tell them to do. We've had a couple of clients like that we had to unfortunately fire. You just tell them what to do and they don't do it, and they don't get the results. Well,
yes,
it's like going to work out, right? I love gymming, but I listen to my coach. If my coach tells me do this and this and this and this and this, I will do it to get the results. And if I don't do it, and if I don't see the results, then I know why, because I haven't done it.
Wow. And this 7 step,
Mm-hmm.
do you talk about it on a high level, on a concept, or they only get it when they come into your mastermind?
What do you mean?
Like would you touch on it a little bit, the 7 steps we talked about?
Well, I wouldn't reveal them now because it's like a signature 7-step framework. But I'm going to tell you what we teach more or less within the mastermind. So as I already mentioned, we help people with their offer. So number one thing is crafting an offer that will sell. How do you do that? We teach you on the mastermind. We teach you how to talk to people and how to sell, because a lot of things can go wrong. It's funny because we sell all the time. All the time. Like even if you convince your partner to wash the dishes, you still sell. That's the truth. But a lot of people don't know how to sell. So we teach them how to sell. Within that skill, there's multiple skills, like how to communicate, what words to use, what kind of copy to use. That's exactly what we teach people as well. Another thing that we teach people is organic ways. So how to sell yourself organically on social media, and also how to use paid ways. So Facebook, Google Ads, because you need it. If you want to scale, you need to go in the paid way. Why? Because when you sell organically, only a limited number of people can see what you're selling. But if you are shooting a video to thousands of people, you have a higher chance to sell. It's all a maths game. You know, when people don't get that it's all about numbers.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. For the people who are interested in your mastermind, how do they join? Is there a waiting list, or how do they contact you? How do they get in touch? You know, how can they join now?
Wonderful. So when people want to join our mastermind, they go through a call with us when we get to know each other, where we have to check if we are a good fit, because this is, first of all, it takes commitment from both sides, and I want this to work. I want to make sure 100% that this will work for you. So we go through an interview, we get to know each other. I want to see your goals. I want to see what you want and what do you offer, because I don't want to work with people where we know that the expectations are not where they have to be. So they go through a call with us. We set a call, and if it's a good fit from both sides, they enroll in the mastermind. The mastermind will start on the 1st of February. We have 2 small groups of the first wave will be in 2 small groups of 5 people, because we want to keep the mastermind very small so we can cater to everyone's needs. So all they have to do is literally get in touch with us, set an appointment, we have a call, and after this call, we will assess if they're a good fit for us, and then can start the mastermind.
Okay, so
Sorry?
How do they get in touch with you for the call?
Oh, they can just shoot a message. They can send a message either to Ayo, or they can send a message to Carol. Just send us a message. That's how easy we make it. Okay. Send us a DM.
On DM on Facebook, or
on Facebook? Yeah. Or even send you can send an email to ayo@acempire.com.
Okay. And how do you spell your name on Facebook?
Ayo. Ayo.
Okay, Ayo. And the surname, so
the surname is Gospodinova. That's a little bit more complicated. Yeah. Gospodinova. So this is GOSP, ODIN, Ova. Gospodinova.
Thank you very much for sharing.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much for helping all the people you've been helping get to that 10K. And
absolutely. I always say that if you win, I win as well.
Wow, that's great. And yes, I hope to have you here again. And I hope the people who want to get to that 10K who are listening to these, I hope they take that action, that first action, to
Mhm.
you and get the help they need. Thank you very much for coming.
Absolutely. Pleasure.